Yeah. I got my joy back. I got joy. Yeah. I got my joy back. I got my joy. I got my joy back. You can't even sing it for me. Hold up. I got my joy back.
I'm Tim Shropshire, and I'm a product. I'm a product of getting a 4-year scholarship to play football in college. I'm a product of being a rookie of the year that freshman year and having a great time. But also I'm a product of 22 citations in one dorm room. I'm a product of going from a 3.1 GPA to a 1.4 GPA. I'm a product of feeling guilt, shame, depression, embarrassment. But also, I'm a product of a turnaround. You know, Dr. Miles Monroe once said, the greatest discovery in life is self-discovery. And during that time, I lost my scholarship and everything was ripped away from me. I discovered who I was. And because of that, I am who I am today. When I discovered myself, I could think better, I could do better, because I knew better. I ended up getting that scholarship back, ended up becoming the chaplain of my team, ended up making an impact on my campus. So I said all that to say this, my lifelong dream and desire is not just on the stage, but it's to help others, especially students, discover who they were called to be. I want to help students across America to make the greatest impact in their community, in their family, and also the world. I'm Tim Shropshire, and I'm a product.
Man, it's just an honor to have you on the platform. You know, I want to say thank you so much for your time today. I mean, look at this. It's 9:44 p.m. Eastern time, and my man right here is actually doing the interview. That's dedication, bro.
Hey, dude, man, I knew it was gonna be a late when we just got in. We did California on Saturday. We did what was that? Oakland. I think it was we was in near Berkeley on Saturday and did Oakland on Sunday. Flew to New York so from California to New York, for a show with the Hamiltons on Monday night. We had film yesterday in New York and literally got in 8:00 this morning.
Wow.
And so I told the babies I'll tuck them in. And
you take the family with you everywhere you go?
Nah, not for this one. Nah, I was like, oh, we going coast to coast. Like, y'all got to stay at the crib. Oh, y'all at the crib. And that check ain't looking that good.
Right.
It's cute, but it ain't looking that good. But no, man. But no, we've been rolling. So and then we're out. Me and the wife were out for a whole week and a half. So I was like, hey, y'all get all daddy's time. So
absolutely, man.
I was really loving on my babies. We got 4 over here at the crib. So.
Wow. Congratulations, by the way. You blessed. You real blessed.
It's the life, man. We love it.
So we
grateful. We grateful. The wife wants some more. I'm like, you better calm down, girl. You better calm down.
You got a basketball team over there?
Oh, we good. I said, we're going to have to get us a Sprinter van or something. You know what I'm saying?
I heard that. Well, I definitely want to.
Thank you for doing what you do, man. Thank you for doing what you do and loving on the people, man. So we appreciate you, man.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, man. I really do appreciate it. You know, I'm just staying humble, man, you know, taking it one day at a time. I feel like that's what it's all about, putting God first and really showing the world out here, man, that this is where it's at. You know what I mean? Because so many people, they're afraid to really put Jesus out there on Front Street. Like, this is who I represent, you know, and in the society we walk in today, there's a lot of people that need to hear that gospel. And that's one of the things I can commend you on, man, because, you know, there's a lot of people called, but not everybody answers that call. And so when you say yes to God, he's able to use you as a vessel to really bless other people, man. So I just want to say I appreciate you for doing what you do, being obedient, and being able to be a vessel.
Man, that's dope, man. Hey, it's only right for us, you know what I'm saying? For I can't do no other way, you know, as far as knowing that he's the one who called me to this. I always say, and I'm not ashamed to let people know what it is, especially even when I'm on stage. You know what I'm saying? So the biggest thing is I let them know, like, if it wasn't for God showing me who He was in 2006, my best friend, me and him went through the same situation. Coming out of our freshman year, college football, we both was on academic probation. We both had to sit out and went through a lot. And in that moment, 2006, that's when, I met Christ, like, personally. And then that's when he started getting into what he got into, more clubbing, more drinking and everything there. Unfortunately, he took his life a few years later. And at his funeral, that's when it really hit me that it really could have been him talking to my family about me.
Mm.
And God was just showing me, like, my life was spared just because of the decisions, that was made. And I'm grateful that the decision was that I chose him in that moment. So in that moment, 2006, that's when I really embraced that relationship with Christ. But also, I found my wife. 2006, it was dating at the time, and then also that's when and I was introduced to stand-up comedy. You know what I'm saying? As far as doing it as a career.
Mm-hmm.
And for student athletes or those who play ball, when you stop playing sports and something was like your baby, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, I didn't know I worshiped football. Like, I didn't know that football was my God until it got taken away.
Wow.
And I didn't, I mean, that's all I did from the age of 6 until, getting to college, that's all I did was ball. So
that's deep, man, because you just said football was your God at one point.
Man, you know what I'm saying? I base everything off of football, even my convictions, off of football. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, like, the reason why it's deep for me, but I idolized it, and I didn't even know I did until it got taken away. And God had to show me too. It was like, my identity, because my identity was so much in football. And
you had a full ride scholarship for A&T?
Full ride.
A&T?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, full ride to play ball. Everything was going great until I got hurt, and then them grades got hurt. You know what I'm saying? And then, but anywho, man. But in that moment, that had to get removed from me, just for him to show me, like, my greater purpose. Him to show me, like, there's more I want to do in your life. There's greater things that are in store for you. But you can't find that. For me personally, I couldn't find it just in football. It's like, you got to find that in me. And that's when I read my pastor's book called Understanding Your Divine Calling. And that joint changed, man. And so God really showed me stand-up comedy. Like, that's what I want you to do. I've seen it before. And that's why I say introduce it to like being a career. Like, I never thought, like, no, I knew I was funny, but not no stage. You know what I'm saying? Not no career. Like, when somebody asked you what you want to do in life, I was like, I want to play ball. I want to go to the league.
And stand-up comedy ain't no joke. We're talking like actually performing live in front of a real audience. Now, we're not talking about skits.
By yourself, bro.
Yeah.
You by yourself. So I was like, nah, and I knew I was funny to make the guys laugh, you know what I'm saying? But I never saw myself on the stage funny. So
wow.
So people are seeing, like, I started making videos in 2017. That's when I made my first video. My daughter choking on the chicken wing, and I went viral doing that. They're like, you do with the chicken wing videos.
Right.
That was 2017. And but I started doing stand-up in 2009. So 2009 is when I started doing stand-up. So I've been doing stand-up since then, and doing churches and all that good stuff, all throughout North Carolina. I always tell people I was doing every nursing home in North Carolina. I feel like if you turn 85 in a nursing home, I was pulling up on you. You know what I'm saying? It was jokes and applesauce. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it was.
Right.
And so I started doing the videos, and that's what it took me kind of nationally, as far as getting national recognition, and started traveling a little bit more. So
now I really do want to touch on these videos really quick, because now you went from the stand-up to the videos, and there was a gap there. So there was some hesitation there before you got to the videos. Now, I heard your testimony already, but I definitely want people to hear it because it's it's something about the obedience that was in your testimony that stood out to me. You know, when you went there to the church and you heard that sermon, I want you to explain to the people so that way they can understand how obedience changed your life.
Yeah, the game changer. So I got these shirts and it says God Family Chicken Wings. And so they were like, "Oh, you love chicken wings like that, man? Isn't that order like that?" Truth be told, I usually wait to tell this when I'm on stage. But it's not that I love chicken wings so much. I'm just talking about the three things that changed my life. And so one is God because of who he is. Everybody know how deep God is. And family, they super supportive. And I said chicken wings. And they'd be like, "Well, chicken wings are hitting like that." They do hit. But it was what happened. It's like a story behind it. And it goes back to what you were saying. It's an obedience thing for me. Um, I, my prayer was, again, talking about doing the shows in the nursing home. You know, for the longest, I was doing shows in Greensboro and Goldsboro, and Greenville, North Carolina. I mean, I was tearing up North Carolina, but I was like, man, Lord, I love you, and I love North Carolina. But I know you bigger than that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let me get on a plane one time, tell a joke. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let me get patted down through TSA one time. You know what I'm saying?
You went to the throne bowl.
You know what I'm saying?
He said, I know you bigger than that. I know what we got going on.
You know, so like I'm trying to travel a little bit, Lord. You know, I love it. Look, I love the 252, but let me see something there. Let me see VA or something, you know? But so seriously, so I said, Lord, you know, I trust you, I love you. I want to be a national and international comedian. That's what I want to be. I said, Lord, I want to travel the world, do this thing called comedy. And every so often I would hear this still small voice say, make videos. This 2015. Make videos. I'm like, man, I kept on hearing it. I'm like, no, I ain't making no videos. This is before videos got popular.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, make videos. But I was saying no because I was more afraid of what people would think of me as a grown black man making comedy videos online, skits and stuff online, you know. And so I was hearing that still small voice. And so basically what was happening was I was ignoring God because I was more worried about what somebody was going to think about me. And it wasn't until I went to church one Sunday. It's 2 years later. So you got to understand, I'm dumbing down this voice, and you got to be careful about dumbing down a voice that you know is convicting you. Because now, come on, man. So I'm now training myself to whatever I hear. So it's not even just like what I'm hearing for that moment in my life there. It's really just whatever I'm hearing, I'm just kind of like muting it.
Mm.
And so I'm in church one Sunday and the pastor's preaching. He said, some of y'all are praying prayers, but the very answer that you're hearing, you're running away from the answer. And I said,
that's deep.
I was like, yo, we praying prayers, but we run away from the answer. And I was like, yo, that's me, bro. And I was like, and I started crying, but I was done, boy. They were like, man, you know, I'm at the time we had this multicultural church, and so a big black dude crying up in a multicultural church looked different. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh, God. You know, big boy, I don't know. And
they think he about to have a whole breakdown for real. Hey, watch out, he might tackle you.
We ain't got no ushers for him. You know what I'm saying? But seriously, man, went home and I made that decision, and I know it seemed some people are looking at it like, well, it's just a video, man. For whatever that thing, it was tough for me. And God was like, man, I don't want you having no daggone 4 or 5 cameras, some super dope lighting, man. Pull out your cell phone, make a video. And I made my first video. I had 100 views on Facebook.
And this is the chicken wing video with your daughter's story, right?
It took to the third video. So the second video dropped 300 views. I'm like, man, this look, I'm looking crazy. I dropped that third video, man, and it was about me and my daughter and the chicken wing. I posted it. It never downloaded. The little circle kept on spinning. I was like, man, I did all that work. I'm crying in the video. See what I'm talking about? It didn't go up. I looked the next day, man. and that video went 1.5 million views.
Mm.
I shared one time, it go 3.5 million. And by Tuesday, I dropped it on a Sunday. By Tuesday, Pittsburgh calls me, a church in Pittsburgh hits me up and was like, yo, we need you to fly to Pittsburgh. I said, what's going on? They was like, bro, you hilarious. We need you at this event. They was like, man, it don't matter how much it costs. We got to get you. I'm like, what, dude? By Friday, again, it's at 3.5 million. Vegas calls. And they like, hey, bro, we won't fly you and your wife out to Vegas. And it dawns on me, and again, I'm like, how y'all hear about it? It's like, it's this chicken wing video. I'm like, what in the world? So then it dawns on me, check your emails. Like, I ain't got to check my emails because all the nursing homes got my phone number. They can just call me, you know.
Look, you set your expectations for the nursing home, like, bruh, they can just call me.
I ain't got to check my emails, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm trouble. If my email's so dry, you know what I'm saying? So it just hit me like, man, check your emails. I look at my emails, I got 35 booking requests from all over the country. I'm talking about Jacksonville, Florida. I'm talking everywhere. St. Louis. It was New York. It was just everywhere. And I heard that still small voice again. But this time it said, do you trust me now?
Wow.
Woo! Boy.
I know you had your praise dance situation. You had your moment.
I ain't coordinated like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really coordinated like that. But I can't dance like everybody else getting in. But dude, man, that joint gripped me so much, and we just started embracing this journey, and we've been on the ride ever since. And like I said, you know, that I posted it on my way to New York, and I was like, yo, Lord, like whenever I prayed, you know, I couldn't play the whole song, but Meek Mill's got a you know, in a song, I don't know which song it was, but a little insert of it, you know, an excerpt of it. I was like, you know, we pray for times like this, you know, like, and so
I know what you're talking about.
Come on, you know what I'm saying? And I put that up because literally, you know, it may not be big to somebody, but it was big to me that I was like, man, I'm literally flying from coast to coast in a matter of hours. You know, I'm going to California. I'd headline a show in Raleigh on Thursday. We fly to California on Saturday, do 2 shows in California, then fly to New York the next day. And you headline at one of the major venues in New York with one of your legendary all-time favorite groups, and you like, and I'm on that plane, I'm like, Lord, I thank you. And it wasn't even like one, I'm like, man, it's the grind, I'm tired. It wasn't even that. It was like, people like, man, oh man, you just flew from California to New York, and you on stage already. I was like, man, I'm grateful, man.
And so what was the family doing during this time? Like, that's a lot of moving around. That's a quick adjustment, you know. That's a different lifestyle. I mean, it's like I prayed for this and God delivered. And it's like, wow, I really got to get ready for this. It was like, you ever hear the saying, you got to stay ready so you ain't got to get ready? Well, did you feel like you were ready at that point when it was happening?
So what I was trying to get, I think at this point, my family, and I'll just say my wife, we were just waiting for it to get there. You know, we was trying, you know, and so it was one of the things like we knew it was happening and it's going to happen. It's like, Shrop, I want you to make sure that you're in position. And not even really getting my family ready, it was getting Shrop ready. Because God was like, I'm ready.
Right.
I got to make sure you straight. So what some people don't know, from 2009 to 2014, I did travel the country every week. That I was a recruiter for North Carolina A&T. I would visit schools all across the country, and I would travel. And that's probably why and what got me into thinking like, man, I want to see the world. I want to do this with comedy though.
Right.
So my wife was already used to me hitting the road. And I remember meeting a comedian on the road one time. Again, I was doing shows locally, and I saw him at an airport. but I told him he thought I was on the road for shows, and I was like, nah, I'm actually recruited for A&T. And he said right there in that moment, and it still sticks to me today. He said, oh, God just preparing you. He's preparing you. So I think I'll have it up here, but so in my job as an admissions counselor, beside my door, we always had all of our admissions material in a black suitcase because you never know when Orlando, Florida may call you and say, hey, we need you to come to this national conference or fair
Mm-hmm.
and do an event, and you got to be ready. So downstairs is my bags are packed. If anything were to happen, someone say, yo, we need you to pull up. I just kind of always had that mindset. And so we just ready to rock, man. Like that's all I want to do. And even when times get rough, bro, and you know how it is kind of just going after that dream,
Yeah.
you know, my wife even tells me, man, this how I knew it was real. Like when we was like 2 kids in, and it got real tight financially. And I told my wife, I was like, man, I may have to go back into higher education and start working in higher ed. And she was like, don't go backwards. I'm like, you don't see that bank account? You see them kids? When wifey was all in, I was like,
Wow.
let's go.
That's that support.
She wouldn't let me go back. She was like, nah, we're gonna figure this thing out. You got this. And so yeah, man. So we've like embraced it all, like as a family. So everything we do. So a lot of times my kids do travel with me, or we do travel as a family. And so we homeschool our kids because of this.
Mm.
Because the vision was we saw our family on the road. My wife made a conscious decision even early in my career. She was like, I think my daughter, her first show was in Savannah. She was 6 months old, about 5 or 6 months old, and she was like, "I want your daughters to know what daddy do." And my wife was really instrumental in making sure that the kids were at shows. Again, I'm not performing at clubs like I'm doing now. I'm at churches, so we can always have them in the bag, chilling. But she was like, I just want the kids to know what daddy do, and that was different for me. I'm like, all
Wow.
right, let's go. So she'll bring the kids. And now the boys, we got the boys, and the boys just got here. They 3 and 2. They did. Hey, they got to come with security because them jokers different. And, they did, but we homeschool our kids because the vision is we see the tour bus, man. We see we see us traveling, man. And so it's happening, and we see it where we're able to adjust because we don't want to be. Man, it's dope to be on the road, but I love family, man. I like that's why I got caught up tonight. I told my boy, I said, no, I'm tucking y'all in. Told my girls, I'm tucking y'all in.
Right.
And
Now, how important is that as a father to tell your kids, I'm going to tuck you in? Because I think this go over a lot of people's heads. So I kind of want to touch on this a little bit. Being an actual father to your children, setting the example in the structure in the home and how things are supposed to work and really establishing that bond and doing life together. Something as simple as tucking your child in at night. What is that like for you and how important is it?
man, that's everything. Man, I'm incomplete in my assignment on this earth if I'm not a father, if I'm not a hands-on father, if I'm not an intentional father. Everything else don't even mean anything, man. Everything. The reason why I do what I do is one because I want to glorify God. I want to make a great example about of my parents and what they did for me. But at the end of the day, outside of honoring God with this thing, it's really for them, bro. The stand up, everything. The reason why we're working on creating a special right now, like a comedy stand up special. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I know I'm supposed to do it for the people. I promise you, I'm supposed to do it for the people. But in my heart, I'm doing it for my kids
Mm,
because when I'm gone, I want them to know what the body of work. I want them to know why Daddy was rolling. I don't know what career path they're gonna go into, but I I got to at least leave a blueprint for them.
right.
And I want to leave a strong body of work behind for them. I want them to boom. This is what Daddy did. This is why he was up late. This is what he was writing about. These are the stories he was telling. Oh man, this is he talking about Disney World. This is what we. I want them to see that. I want them to. I want my gift and how I treated it to teach them how they're supposed to do their gift. Because they may go into culinary, they may go into some type of profession, whatever. I want them to see the blueprint that I left, and it teaches them. They shouldn't have to have another teacher.
Right.
I should be able to teach them with this life that we put out. Like, boom, dude, Daddy died empty.
And that's
He
so
emptied out, poured out, and so I think that's the biggest thing for me. It's everything is for them, and them seeing me because they're gonna see they go and again we're in the business of touching lives, loving on people, shaking hands. For me, outside of the stage, the greatest thing is after the stage. Is post show. Is talking to the people. Love it, man. Cause I love people, and so I don't want to be, you know, that person. I don't want my kids to ever say like, man, they got daddy's time and I never got it.
that's so deep. That's
You know.
that's one of the things a lot of people struggle with when they get to this level of this process where they're always on the go. They're always leaving home to go make the money for the household. But just saying that you're spending so much time with other people. I think of it like a head coach of a football team. Like those players on the team is like their kids. You get what I'm saying? And then the fact that they may have actual kids at home, there has to be a balance there. And keeping that balance and making sure your kids understand that they're the priority,
Yeah.
regardless of how busy you get. I think that's so important for them being able to even move in life. You
Big.
know,
It's everything. It's
setting
everything.
that example, and also giving God all the glory, bro. Like that's a
Mm-hmm.
big deal, and I always put that out there first because without Him, we're nothing. We're
Man,
absolutely nothing without Him. So we got to give Him all the glory, because there was times that He was looking out for us and we didn't even know it.
come on.
You know what
Come
I'm
on.
saying? Like those situations you went through, even in college, when you felt like, man, I'm losing everything. I got injured. I'm out for almost the whole season. What am I supposed to do? This is supposed to be my dream.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
love in one of the interviews you had previously, you said it was a pivot moment for you.
Right. It pivot, man. Everything. It changed everything, man. It was like the best worst thing that ever happened.
Man, I can relate to that so much. I
You
can.
know.
I'm telling you. Um,
So yeah, man.
It's important. So let's talk about this chicken, man. It's only right I got you on the podcast and we talk about some chicken. And I'm a man of my word. I reached out to you and I did tell you that during the interview I was gonna have some chicken. All right. So I got it. This is homemade chicken.
Oh, that thing look. That thing is it. Did you bake it? Did you bake
It's
it?
baked. It's baked. And it's that
That
barbecue.
thing. Come on now. What
That
you what you put on? What you put on? Bro,
my
four
wife
twenty
cooked
five.
it. It's her special recipe.
She put on about 425. About 42 minutes.
Wife special recipe.
She look. Hey, tell wife it looking good. It looking good.
It got the glaze on
When
there.
you get, when you get, I see that little crust on it. Ow! I see that crust on that thing. Don't make me wake these kids up. Don't make me wake. Hey, let's go.
So I wanted to talk about
Get with me.
the reviews. Like, how did that start, man? Like, you started to
Yeah,
kind of go on a little mini tour. It seemed like just for taste testing. How did that happen? And did you expect it to blow up the way it did?
not at all, bro. Like it was super random and organic. We were just trying to make another pivot, and just doing something creative with. I mean, we smack dab in the pandemic. Everything closed. We're doing these Zoom shows for $50. It ain't cutting it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so this guy asked me to come the guy asked me to come to. It was going to fly me to Houston, Texas, to talk about his RV park, Black-owned RV park. He was like, "Hey, bro, can you just do a commercial or just a video about my RV park to your followers?" I'm like, "What? Like, I don't know. Like, I was like, okay." So I did that. Paid me good too. And I'm like, people do that, and I knew somebody else randomly. Like, "Hey man, can you make a video about this?" I'm like, for my business. I'm like, and so when that started coming about, I said, "Man, let's just promote with Shrop. Let's see what happens." You know what I'm saying? So we did that. And so when we knocked that out, the flyer, I've had 5 brands hit me up. Funeral Home hit me up. I'm like, oh Lord.
Wow. Well, the funeral home hit you up.
Our funeral home out of
Man.
North Carolina hit me up, and I said, "Man," and they were like, "I don't know, shoot, we did it too," and that joke crazy, it was funny. So, but a chef hit me up. I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna promote my catering business. Can I come over to your house and cook for you? Can I cook brunch for you?" And I was like, "You wanna pay me to cook for me?" I was like, "Where did you do that at?" What? So she came over to the house, cooked brunch for me. It was good. She made a nice little meal. I'll never forget it. It was a shrimp and grits. Had a little little sausages over there, a little egg. It was nice. I was like, okay.
Right.
But a chef out of Maryland saw that. She was like, "Oh, that was cute, but I want to fly you up to Maryland." And shout out to Chef Natasha. She's like, "I want to fly." Didn't even know the girl. Didn't even know him. I told Elsa, I said, "You cool with it?"
Can we get a shout out real quick, man? This guy is catching planes to eat food.
Catching planes to eat from strangers. I'm like, "Hey, player." And so, and I knew she was serious because she dropped a nice deposit. I was like, "This is real."
You probably your mind is like, how do you process that right now? Like, this is one of those type situations where people be like, how do I apply for that position?
Bruh, you know what I'm saying? It's called alignment, bro. When you align and you call it, this stuff just start happening.
Sure.
So she flies me up to Maryland, bro. And when I walk in, it's like flowers everywhere. I mean, it's chicken and waffles, ribeye, what I mean, she was like, "I want to show you what a real brunch is." She said, "I saw you had brunch, but I want to show you a real brunch." I said, "Ooh, this a real brunch, y'all." I mean, she had chicken and waffles. I mean, she almost like 7 to 8 meals. Fruit going down a waterfall. I was like, "Oh shoot!" By me just doing that review alone, bruh, 80-something chefs hit me up.
Mm.
They was like, "Okay, can you do that for me?" I was like, "Well, you got to do it like her to get that." I mean, and so a lot of people kind of was like really getting on me online. I was like, "Man, you just be going crazy over everything. Everybody's food can't be this good." I was like, "Everybody's food ain't that good." I said, "But who I've been reviewing, you got to understand. I ain't going down the street to Burger King." I said, "These are chefs who make a living." I say, "Y'all going to Outback and getting a steak from somebody who get paid $20 an hour to make a steak. I'm getting my steak from somebody who get paid $250 to $800 an hour to make a steak. Those are 2 different steaks, my friend. Come on, I'm got to get this. Them 2 different steaks." So, man, it's really, that has really helped shape us. It literally had, I've been eating, but it exposed my daughters and my kids to like culinary. So we've really been, they've been around chefs, and so I'm like, I didn't even think that goes back to having your family involved and let your family be in on that. So indirectly, I didn't know that my kids are seeing Black chefs cook. Like, bro, I don't know about you, but I ain't grow up with seeing Black chefs come to the crib.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Private chefs coming in to the house, making food. These girls have seen chef after chef after chef come to the crib. Like we play for the Cowboys or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like we playing for the Ravens. Like they're coming in because hey, we wanna showcase. We go into a city and they see a chef pulls up on you. I just did a review for a guy in Wilmington, North Carolina. Corey with on time restaurant. Huge shout out to him. I just drove. We drove down there, loved on him, but did a full out review. Food is crazy amazing though, by the way. But the reason why I pulled up on him, and I never said this online, was I blessed him with a food review. Because when I was in Wilmington with the family on vacation, you know, I think he saw that I was going to be and he was going to pull up on me. I'm glad he did. He pulled up on me, but our tire blew while we are in Wilmington. My family was stranded, and we couldn't even get to no food spots. So it's four of us, four kids, my wife and the four kids. We couldn't get to no food spots. Everything's closed. So dude drives out to where we are at, pulls up on us. He brings food to us. And I mean, that junk was so good. And he was just catering at the time. I was like, buddy, when you get your restaurant, so he just opened up his restaurant. So I did his review. This was what, 2 weeks ago. He just hit me back and was like, bro, we're getting people from Atlanta, New York, Minnesota. They're flying in. I was like, you lying, dog.
Wow.
He sends me video of someone that flew in from New York. Because when I posted this video, it went viral. It hit like 500,000 views. There was like, if these seafood air girls hitting like these, either this dude capping or not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so he got videos of people giving reviews of the food, but saying, yeah, I saw this on TikTok from this guy, and I flew in from New York, or we flew in from Minnesota from this TikTok video.
Wow.
And I'm like, he said, bro, and one day we sold 1,500 egg rolls. I was like, boy, I said, I should have charged you, dog.
Man, that has to be a great feeling to have such an impact like that, just on somebody's business or just to see somebody get a breakthrough, because sometimes, like you were praying for those situations. I want to be an international comedian. You're praying for these things, and then when those prayers get answered, man, it just hits you in a place where you just knew it was God. And so even in a situation like that for him, it's a blessing to be a blessing. I think that's what I'm trying to say. In the situation, you're able to look at somebody and say, man, I'm a just do something for this person. And then you just see that seed grow until all of these different things is happening. And it's like you start to become a person that just started planting seeds everywhere without even realizing it. You just start planting seeds places. There's some seeds that I promise you've been planting that you have no idea how it actually turned out. And that's the real blessing in disguise.
It's dope that you said that, man. God recently reminded me to shout out to BNL Wednesday in the comments. I see, and they in Atlanta. They got some of the best wing. Hey, 9898. That wing, they holding. Hey, bro, they holding the best wing in the country right now. After all them trades, so shout out to BNL Wing. I see all in the comments. But God reminded me, and it has been reminded me to keep a seed in the ground. And to remind me to stay hungry, because the young Shrop used to pull up on churches, and not churches chicken, but
actual churches.
Young Shrop used to pull up on churches, and I would do like a 5-minute set on Sunday morning. I would ask and get clearance and all that good stuff, and they'd be like, "How much?" I'm like, "You don't got to pay me." Because I was just so hungry. Boom, 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 boom. And so, and it's God kind of put in my heart, like, hey, like, go, be that guy again sometimes. Be that guy. And so I think last year things are kind of going slow. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do some gigs. I need to get out. Like I need to do some work. And I did some shows, and and I just say I did some shows. Didn't charge anything. Within a year, those same folks hit me back and was like, "What's your full rate? Like, you want the full rate, or you want the?" They said, "What's your full rate?" I I gave them that full rate. They paid that full rate, and then they was like, "We're gonna pay it again because we want you for something else." I was like, "Ooh." That alone paid for my trip to go to Africa on Sunday.
Wow.
And I ain't, yeah, that's a whole other story.
That's a blessing, man. That,
But it's all because of a seed that was sown. Boom. And God was just showing me, man, you never know. Just keep a seed in the ground because that seed may grow up and take care of you.
right. Now,
So do that.
just real quick, just want to touch on this really quick because I'm thinking about your process that you went through. I'm thinking about the fact that you were obedient, and I have to always start at the root. Where the seed really took place in the ground to grow and become what it is today to produce fruit in your life. When I think about you being obedient to that calling of you making those videos and hearing you explain all of these things that really came out of that situation and how it's impacted your family, how it's changed your life and other people's lives.
Mhm.
I get stuck on a moment where it's like, okay, there was a situation where you may have had doubt,
Mhm.
even though you knew, like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is the opportunity that's presenting itself to me, and I didn't get the reaction I thought I was going to get. Some
Mhm.
people would have quit in that moment in their life. What was the thing that kept you going? And I'm only saying this because I heard an interview where you were talking about your first time doing stand up, and it was your very first time, and you said the only thing you wish you could have done was left sooner in that
Bruh.
situation. And to think about
Bruh.
that moment to what you have been able to accomplish now, what words of advice you got for people that could be going through something similar?
I think um, I wish it was because I was this strong willed, strong mind person trying to get to the top. The only thing for me, because you got people who got work ethic and willpower that run circles around me. But for me in my life, I'm only holding on to the vision that God showed me. That's what keeps me. That's what makes me not stop. Yes, my family, but truthfully, is that vision. Like God, you you shouldn't have showed me that vision. Because I'm gonna go after it. Because no matter what, if I get another job today, if I stop doing comedy, I have to live with the fact that, bro, you saw that vision. He showed you that thing. And I believe him, bro. And God has shown me too much has shown himself so much in comedy in my life and his walk that I know is real, that I know is true. So I'm like, I just gotta stay the course. I just gotta stay the course. And so if I give up on this, I think I'm giving up on something bigger than just a a Netflix special and what people may say. So it's all about fulfilling purpose, man. So what keeps me going, what keeps me from, because I'm not saying I don't have the moments where I don't feel like we get the moments. You get the moments. Like we be like, bro, this ain't,
Right,
you know. And a lot of times bread, you know what I'm saying? The bread don't be hitting like that. You be like, man, this ain't, and then that account fill up. You be like, you know what I'm saying? I got that. You're like, hey, what? Well, come on, dog.
right,
So I think honestly it's that constant reminder of knowing that this ain't my story. This is. And I'm just living in it. And I just I have to be a good steward of the story that he's placed my life in, and he wrote it, and I'm just trying to live it out.
wow,
And so that's what I have to realize, because I'm arrogant and selfish if I give up on a dream. give up on the calling, give up on the assignment. That's just, bro. Come on.
Wow. That's an amazing perspective. You called yourself arrogant and selfish if you give up on a dream.
Yeah.
Because that, to me, what that's saying is it's not just about yourself at this point.
Because again, this was for me.
Right.
I didn't grow up watching Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy. Because I hear people say that. Oh, I was watching Eddie Murphy one night, and I was like, "That's what I want to do." Man, I watched Eddie Murphy, and I'm like, "That was funny." That's all I. I ain't know I want to do that.
Right.
I ain't know I want to be no comedian. When I mean this comedy thing came out of nowhere, like. Now, come on now. Stand on stage by myself. Can somebody come up here with me, please? No, man. Like, no. And some people like, what you was gonna do? I don't know what we're gonna do, but I sure we're gonna do no comedy. So, man, so me doing this, I know is God. Because I didn't even think about this.
Wow.
It never crossed my mind. And so he's the one that showed me it. And so I'm like, he got to show me the way. Someone be like, where you see yourself in 5 years? I said, man, I'll just be making up something to you. This is satisfying this conversation. I said, because I mean, I don't know. I want to be somewhere great, but the way God be moving his pace, I'm like, and so I think so. That is my biggest hesitation, or that is my biggest, slow down. It's not God, it's me.
Right.
And it's me, it's that belief. And I do struggle with that at times because it's almost like, God, you can use me. Like sometimes I'm a big bad Christian, like I got this. God gonna open up doors, And sometimes I'm like, I'm that little sheep, bro. Like I don't know. Like God, will you? It's crazy how I know God can use me in one moment. He got me. He got us. We will never. Then you get them moments like, God, I don't know.
Wow.
I really don't. I need you in this moment. And so we struggle. My struggle sometimes it is belief because I know God is real. I know God can do things. Sometimes we don't believe God can use us.
That's
And
so
so
powerful.
it's easy to tell somebody else's story. Such and such over here did it, something or something great happened to them. And you're like, I see why, because but we don't see it for our own self. And so it really is reprogramming that mind because for the longest I thought I only could rent the car, not own the car. I felt like God would just dangle success in front of me that I would just really get just close enough so my testimony is I was close to it. Not that I possessed it. And so I had to really challenge myself. And it's still a daily struggle of saying, no, you own this. You possess this. This is you. This is what, and we going all the way with it. We ain't half doing it. Yeah, this is you. Yeah, that bank account gonna be, yeah, you're gonna be on the same stage. So in New York, I passed by the Comedy Cellar, which is like the legendary club in New York. And so I didn't walk past it. I stopped in there. I was like, oh. I said, Lord, you showed me. Why you let me turn down this street right here? I said, oh, and this one messed me up. Security guard came out. I said, oh, we got to run. He was like, nah, dog, I got to get my picture. I said, get your picture. He was like, I love your videos. I said, oh, shoot. I said, oh, shoot. So, man, just trusting God, trusting the process, trusting that God will do, and that trust that God can use, and that God can and will use me for great things and greater things. What I've been hearing in my spirit more than anything, man, is abundance, exceedingly and abundantly. Exceedingly abundantly. And I'm realizing that, man, it's me thinking too low. And it's exceedingly abundantly. I was giving some examples of numbers. I was like saying 50,000 this and 5 and 50 that like that. My buddy stopped me and said, why your examples are low? why your examples? He said, when you said 50,000, I thought you were going to say 500,000. I think I'll say 50 million. Like, why your examples low? I'm like, oh, so exceedingly abundantly. And I mean, this time last year was at about 50,000 followers, about at 140,000 followers, exceedingly abundantly. God can do it exceedingly abundantly, more than we can ask to think, man.
Man, you just said it all. I don't know what else to say after that. That was such a much needed to hear word for so many people. Because a lot of people do go through that. They struggling with belief. They struggle. It's like, I know God real. I know He can get me through things. I know what seems to be impossible is possible with God. But right now, I'm just feeling a little bit low. I'm feeling like I need that extra push. And what's screaming in my head is that He's a good father. And so a good father knows their child. When your son or your daughter is going through something. You know when something is different about your child today, if you're a good parent. And so God is no different when it comes to that, because He's the example. So He'll look at your situation when you're struggling with moments like that, and He say, I got you.
Got you. That's it.
That's everything.
That's it. And so for those who are listening, man, don't wait on somebody to validate you. And I think that's the reason why we lack in belief, is because we look for validation. And man, God is the one that validates us, man. When He gave you the go, that's the validation. When He gave you the go, that was all the validation that you needed. Everything, it was in the go. Go ahead.
He gave you the green light.
When He gave you the green light, that's a validation. And somebody stopped me in the parking lot, was like, he said, God gonna go at your, he said, for me, I don't know about you, but he said, for Shrop, he said, God is gonna go at your pace. He said, God's gonna go at your pace. How much He's gonna pour out, He's gonna go at your pace. He said, it's gonna be on how much you believe Him. Because God's ready, but He's gonna go at your pace. He ain't gonna go before, He's gonna go at your pace. But He's just saying, He's ready to pour out, but are you ready for Him to pour out on you? He was like, because don't be saying it's time out for putting this on God. Oh, we wait on God. No, God waiting on you.
You better tell somebody.
He ready. So and again, this works for me. It was like, God is gonna go at your pace. If you want to run and go this thing, he let's go. Oh, you want to just slow walk this thing? Okay, all right, that's what you. But He waiting on you. So a lot of people are waiting on validation, waiting for somebody to give them the green light. Man, if God gave you the green light, man, go. Go. You can sell 5 books, or you can sell 5,000 books. You can sell 500. It's up to you. He gave you the green light.
Wow, that's powerful, brother. I just gotta say, I've interviewed a lot of comedians up here, man. I'm talking Michael Blackson, Red Grant, Lunel, but then there's you. And what I mean is, it's like the testimony, the story, the inspiration behind it, and the ability to be a blessing to others is like unmatched. And I'm telling you that from my heart. So many people needed to hear this message today. There's so many people that hearts are really going to be changed by this. And I just got to say, the way that you're being so humble about it in the process, the way that you're actually giving God the glory, because there's so many people, they wait, I got this award, now I'm going to give God the glory. But giving God the glory through the process,
man, you better.
That's where it's at. And so for anyone that's listening right now, while you're going through that process, give God the glory. While you're struggling, give God the glory. Because there's something about that. There's that humility. There's something about that when you give God the glory, where you may be in a position where you feel like you ain't even got it yet. You showing Him that you're thankful for what you got. Because there's a lot of people that pray, and they're praying. And what they should be doing is thanking God for what He's already done in your life.
Yep.
So I just want to leave y'all with that word. Anything you want to leave the people with, man? I mean, I really do feel like you done hit it all right now, you know.
Hey man, hey nah, man. Thank y'all for y'all, man. And shout out my cousin. He said shout out Busy Bee Bakery. Yeah, that's my cousin down there.
Shout out
But,
to Mike Teasy. I saw him in the chat earlier too.
hey, that's the homie, man. I'm telling you, man. Hey, I love Teasy's grind, man. His faith, man. Seeing stuff like that, being around like-minded, believers that's in this walk. That
Yep.
seeing that, man. That's so. If I could leave you with anything, man, just know that y'all blessed, man. And like my brother just said, man, you blessed in the season, in the storm, outside the storm. Um, Before you get the acknowledgement and the validation from others, you blessed before that, man. And so, man, y'all blessed, man. Blessed meaning that you backed by God, man. He got you. He got you. Don't worry about it. Just put the work in. The word that at church is, and I'll leave you with this, is be strong and do the work. Be strong and do the work. Make no excuses. That's what I'm learning. I'm learning that because I got enough excuses. I got 4 kids. I got to be strong and do the work. Get that work done. So whatever it is that you're supposed to do, here it is. There you go. Whatever it is that you're supposed to do, whatever that thing that God called you to do it. Whatever He said, do whatever that thing is, and you know what that thing is because it just came in your brain. So whatever that thing is that God called you to do and told you to do, get it done. That's it.
That's it. Well, look, thank you so much for coming through the King Legend Talks. It really was an honor to have you here today. I don't usually say this, but I'm ready to go look at this interview again right now. So I want to say I really do appreciate your time and your transparency with us, man, and just really giving God the glory. Because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. And I always tell people it don't matter how much accomplishments you make in this life, when you die and it's all said and done, it will mean nothing if you didn't have a relationship with Jesus Christ.
Come on.
And so I just want to leave people with that, because the funeral is not the place to say, I hope I had a relationship with him. You need to know him today, because tomorrow not promised. And I'm a testament of that, y'all. I was on a ventilator for 12 days. I know what it's like to be there in that situation and not knowing, well, am I going to make these dreams come true? Because it don't matter when you're in that hospital. Only thing that matters is that moment in your health. And so what I will say is, do it now. If God is putting something on your heart, do it now, because you're going to get held accountable every day you spend on this earth. So what are you doing with your time? Because when you die and you got this relationship with Christ and you go to heaven, but you're going to have this responsibility. What did you do with your time?
Let's go.
Did you waste it, or did you use it to bring glory to God? So bring glory to God every single day of your life. And, we gotta keep doing that, man. That's what it's about. So thank y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's another episode of King Legend Talks. We out.
Be a king and a legend, boy. That's a big one, huh?
It ain't enough to just be a king.
And you got the lion in the background, boy. You's a dangerous guy, man.
You are put through the fire. The only thing that kept me going was I knew it was going to happen. I believed it was going to happen.
So I used to print out that list, and I would put my name at the top. I would white out the person on the top, and I'd put my name. And I would print out that list, and I'd keep it in my pocket for the next 4 months. Until one day, the email that I got had my name at the top.